Hello Aquarius, while I was shuffling the deck for you, I actually had a couple of cards jump right out. We have the 2 and 3 of Pentacles coming out together, which is always interesting to kind of see a sequence like this. So it feels like right now there is a momentum that is building. Your work or effort is growing in some way, and it feels like there might have been some kind of transition. Maybe you were starting new work or juggling a couple of things around, some big projects. It feels like things have been pretty busy, especially when I'm tuning into the energy for you, Aquarius. And with the 3 of Pentacles here, this is actually really beautiful because it does feel like there's collaboration, there's some learning. Maybe you're gaining skills as you go. And honestly, the energy almost just kind of feels like trying to stand on a rolling log or moving to stand on a rolling log. And it might feel like there's just a lot right now, and maybe that's where this collaboration can really help you, kind of delegating some tasks or reaching out to support, learning from others. But this actually does feel pretty positive overall. It actually feels like a nice productive energy, which is better than kind of a stagnant energy, I would say, but nonetheless, it could feel a little bit stressful right now. Before we dive into the tarot reading for you, I do just want to thank all of you who are coming back to this channel and supporting with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. I truly couldn't do this without all of your support, and I really, really appreciate it. I also am so happy to have any new faces as well. You can find links in the description of this video for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions, which you can book on my website, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. And while I do this shuffling for you too, I just kind of want to explain that these are general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. It might even be wise to take a moment and pause this video to really just sit in your body, maybe uncross your arms or legs to really open your own energy flow and just figure out what really resonates with you, what you're really feeling, and what should be left behind for somebody else. Also be very open to the possibility that some of these messages, while may not be meant for you, could be for somebody else in your life, regardless of zodiacal placement. And this is a timeless reading, so you're welcome to watch it whenever it reaches you. And you're also welcome to watch this whether you have an Aquarius sun, moon, rising, whatever. Really just trust your intuition to bring you to the messages, to the videos that really are meant for you. So what are the messages for Aquarius here? Interesting. Lovely. We do have the 6 of Wands coming out first. Or I'm sorry, the 4 of Wands. But it does kind of feel similar. There is a victory. There is a celebration. I do feel like something has come to a culmination recently. And if you're not recognizing what this is, it's almost like Spirit wants you to recognize the things that you have achieved, how far you have come. And what's really beautiful is that we actually do have the 6 of Pentacles as well. So it's like whatever you've achieved, whatever it is that you have worth celebrating, it's almost like you're able to give back to others from your experience or from your wisdom. There may be even people you are assisting in other ways as well. You know, there's certainly quite a bit of Pentacles here, so maybe you are working on something in a very tangible way with other people, or even giving people money or resources, or helping people access those things themselves. Because the 6 of Pentacles often does signify some sort of charity or windfall. And maybe that's actually the thing that you are celebrating, Aquarius. Maybe you received some unexpected boon or generosity that's really helping you work on things that matter. So far, I'm really loving this energy, actually. What else do we have for Aquarius? We did have a bunch of cards that just came out, but the only 2 that came out facing upright were the Ace of Swords and the 6 of Wands. Again, I did say 6 of Wands at first, so it's funny to see this. Yeah, I feel like there's good news. And I feel like some of you are getting news about something you've been working towards or working on, or there's just some really exciting development. I'm just getting good news with this, which is very, very exciting. Again, it feels like there is a lot going on. And at times it might feel overwhelming, Aquarius, but I actually do feel like there is still something here that is worth celebrating. What else do we have for Aquarius? Show us clearly, please. Interesting. We do have the High Priestess coming in very central to this reading. So maybe there is a need to pause, to gain more information, to reconnect with your intuition. Why is the High Priestess here? Yes, that is exactly what this is. The Four of Swords. Needing to take a time out, needing to rest, needing to meditate, needing to recharge. And there's actually many different kinds of rest. I forget the name of the author, but there's actually this book that talks about the 7 types of rest. And if you Google that, you should be able to find it. But there's physical rest, which is kind of the one that most people think of. But there's also things like emotional rest. There is spiritual rest. There is creative rest. And kind of based on the sort of demands of your day-to-day life, the way that rest could actually look very different. So if you're someone who is sitting at your desk working on a computer all day, what's actually physically restful for you might be taking a walk. So be very open to what rest means to you, what recharges you, what replenishes you. I'm really feeling like that is important right now with this Four of Swords, and especially with the High Priestess. I almost get the sense of kind of reconnecting with the why. What are you working towards? What are you working for? What are you living for? Some kind of bigger, larger-than-life existential questions, and how you might go about achieving that is what I'm really thinking is important. I would also really encourage you to pay attention to your dreams, Aquarius. That feels like something that's going to be really significant to you as well. So I would really encourage you to keep a dream journal by your bed or work on some sort of dream incubation technique, which is basically just techniques that help you remember your dreams. That could be as simple as going to sleep and telling yourself as you're drifting off, I will remember my dream, I am dreaming now, something like that. Because it does feel like your dreams can be especially meaningful or insightful, especially if you take the time to sit with and analyze them. But I really do get the sense, connecting with your intuition, meditating, these things are really important, especially if there is a lot going on in your day-to-day life. Even if this is just taking 5 minutes or even a minute between things, just to catch your breath, to refocus, to recenter, that's going to be very, very important. What else do we have for Aquarius? What are the changes or challenges coming in? We do have the Seven of Wands, so it does feel like there's a lot of attention on you. I do feel like maybe there's a lot of communication or a lot of chatter, and it feels like a lot of people are turning to you right now, Aquarius, and while sometimes that can be sort of glorified, like, oh, you're this sort of leader position, it almost feels overwhelming with the Seven of Wands. Like there's too much that's being asked of you. Maybe you need to take a stand for what's important right now. It just feels like you're kind of on guard. And all of these wands, all of these different things are coming at you. And that's sort of the challenge. And it's not all bad. It really, really isn't. It's just a lot. And I do think with the Four of Swords and the High Priestess, there's almost this kind of call to simplify, to do what you can to rest and recharge. And I'm going to be honest with you, Aquarius, if you're in this kind of mindset of like, I just need to finish X, Y, and Z, and then I can relax, I'm almost getting from these cards and from this energy, like, there might be more things that come. There might not be an end line or a goal line for quite some time. So it's important that you're kind of running the marathon and not a sprint, okay? That does feel like something worth sharing to those of you who are kind of in this go mode right now. Where is all of this leading for Aquarius? We do have Temperance. I did actually see this in reverse, but I shifted it upright. A lot of the time when I pull a card, it's almost like I'm pulling it upright and reverse at the same time anyway. It represents more of a dynamic and a balance that needs to be struck, which is ironically what Temperance is really about. There is something that's going to need to take some time. And again, it feels like whatever it is that you're working on, you need to give yourself more time. Just because you could theoretically get something done in 3 days doesn't mean that's the best amount of time to get it done. And I mean, This is a timeless reading, but I am recording this in September. We do have eclipse season upon us. Some pretty big shifts are taking place, especially with Pluto finishing up its last run in Capricorn before it enters back into your sign once and for all for the next 20 years. So there's definitely going to be a lot of transformation taking place. And that's why it feels like, again, running the marathon, not the sprint here. It's important that you are pacing yourself, that you're doing things in a sustainable way. Really integrating things as well, finding the silver lining or kind of extracting beauty and meaning from things is also very Temperance to me, because this is the card that comes after death. It comes after the loss, the transformation, and there's sort of a purification that is going on as well. This is also Sagittarius energy, so maybe something happening by the end of this year in December during Sagittarius season, or even end of November. That could be some sort of important marker for you in whatever it is that you're working on. And it's interesting that this is kind of like the future, you know, because a lot of this energy has been like, what's going on right now? You're working really hard, and it's not like you're getting something that feels like you're seeing the fruits of your labor just yet. And so again, pacing yourself is really, really important. I do feel like things are coming into a more steady balance. You're getting a new rhythm. Especially with the Two of Pentacles, you're finding your balance here. And I think that's the most important thing. Wow, yeah. I want to ask a little more about this Temperance card. Five of Swords. Some of you are going to need to walk away from situations. And I really do think of the Five of Swords sometimes as like picking and choosing your battles. Like, what are the battles that are worth really fighting, and what are the battles that are kind of just better to walk away from? Especially since you do have the Seven of Wands. I really do feel like you need to pick and choose your battles. And that could be quite literal. Maybe there are some arguments or conflict or disagreement between you and people you know. Or maybe this is about the work that you're doing. Because I feel like you need to simplify. And I'm recognizing too, I've just been like non-stop talking this entire reading. And generally, I mean, sometimes it's fast, but usually my delivery is much more slow. And so I feel like there's kind of this need to slow down, catch your breath, pay attention to your thoughts, your words, really get back into your body. I'm also curious what's going on in relationships for you, because when I was tuning into the energy, I saw these like two faces, but this felt more like a meeting of the minds to me. It was very abstract. What is going on in relationships for Aquarius right now? Interesting. We do have the Six of Swords. Yeah, you might be taking some time or space from a person. Or maybe you're just moving into a calmer chapter. Let's actually clarify. Why is the Six of Swords here for Aquarius? Talking about relationships. We do have the Knight of Pentacles coming out here as well. This is slow, steady progress and transition. Maybe this is involving a Virgo, or perhaps Capricorn or Taurus. Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there's been some disagreement or some conflict or even competition. I'm getting a little jealousy. And maybe that's around someone performing well at work or something like that, or being recognized for their effort. What is the advice here? What is the advice for Aquarius in relationships right now? Wow, Nine of Cups, focusing on your own happiness. Yeah, this kind of does feel like maybe you're stepping back from an important relationship right now, or sort of detaching a little bit. And that doesn't necessarily even mean like you're breaking up with someone or not talking to anybody anymore. I'm actually not really getting that for a lot of you. This feels more like there's just so much going on. It's kind of like you need to have this conversation like, look, I need to focus on work right now, or I need to focus on these other things. I need to focus on my healing or my purpose or whatever this is. Whatever it is that's going to help you feel fulfillment. Because this Nine of Cups often is a card of manifestation and achievement and doing things that feels intrinsically valuable to us. And to see this showing up in a relationship, especially with the Five of Wands, Six of Swords, and even this Knight of Pentacles, it's like you're just putting your energy into things that are like in your control right now. It's not about trying to change other people or fight other people until they see your point of view. Like, I actually don't think that's a good use of your time. And it could also be the reverse. You know, maybe there's someone you are connecting to right now where they're kind of just, they're getting their own footing or they're focused on other things right now. And that's kind of your opportunity to focus on whatever the hell all of this is, Aquarius. And it might even be kind of a favor, actually. Like if someone's just sort of like, let's reconnect about this. Let's touch base about us later. Very interesting. You'll definitely have to comment down below if that's resonating for you. I'm curious to hear like what it is that the two of you are working on or what it is that one person is working on. But it feels like it's an opportunity for both of you anyway to work towards your happiness. I'm getting very like different workflows actually between two people. Like someone wants something more calm, more collected. Another person wants something that's more, more dynamic. I almost want to say, Aquarius, that for a lot of you, you're the one who wants something calmer and you're kind of like getting thrown to the wind by other people. Or like blown in the wind by other people is what I meant to say. And you're kind of needing to like have a check-in with yourself and then maybe some other people too and just be like, hey, I kind of need a different pace right now. And that's actually interesting for those of you maybe in kind of like a more casual or less committed relationship. Maybe you're talking to somebody. Maybe there is sort of a difference in perspective on how fast things should be moving between you and this other person. And I feel like it's actually in your benefit to slow things down or to shift your focus right now. It's almost like that's not even an option. I keep getting that. Like there's just external forces or influences right now. There's other things that are more of a distraction. And you kind of get the chance to par things down. Any other messages for Aquarius? I'm really starting to feel drawn to the animal deck at this point, but what is this card? Ace of Pentacles. Love to see this. So yeah, it really does feel like you have a new beginning here. Maybe some of you are working a new job or getting another job. Like it feels like you're busy. And this doesn't even need to be about like a source of income. Maybe this is a passion project. Maybe this is just something that you really care about or something you're just putting a lot of time or your own resources in. But I feel like there's a stable new beginning and things are going to stabilize. And it's like, I almost get the sense you need to rethink the ways you derive your sense of stability. I feel like a lot of people live their life almost like in this kind of bargaining. Like if I grind and work really hard right now, then I can relax later. But it's almost like this carrot on a stick where we keep going after it and going after it. And like, it's almost like we're afraid to admit to ourselves, I need to do something radically different here. And I mean, obviously, like that's a huge privilege to be able to do that. So of course, use your own discernment in figuring out how that applies to your own life. But I think there is some sort of way to rethink your stability here. And in this case, maybe there's too many other voices. There's too much chatter going on. And you really need to kind of reconnect with yourself and your own needs first before you can really show up for others in your life. So yeah, let's pull an animal card here. I really like to think of this as an energy for you to embody. What is the energy for Aquarius to body? What is the animal messenger for Aquarius at this time? Okay. Yeah, definitely a lot of change taking place with the butterfly here. And it's funny because when this card shows up, it's kind of like you're coming out of something. You're coming out of a cocoon, your chrysalis, going back out into the world, but you're different. And maybe you have even changed in ways that other people notice and they're not quite sure about, but this still feels positive to me. Because the butterfly is ultimately like, yeah, you might lose who you were, which was that caterpillar, but you became what you were meant to be. And so I do feel like there is this process, this transformation. And because this is a timeless reading in particular, like you might be in a very different stage right now. Maybe you're in this caterpillar stage, or maybe you're still in the cocoon stage. Maybe that's what this High Priestess and Four of Swords really represents. But I actually feel like there is this emerging, and it's very gradual. And you're kind of rebuilding your strength. And like I know when butterflies come out of their chrysalis, they often need to dry out their wings before they can take flight. And that's just what I'm sort of getting with this Four of Swords. It's like you've done all this work, you're emerging, but there's also this need to kind of slow down and take a moment before you go off into the next thing. And there might be some changes happening in relationships for you right now. Maybe it does feel like there's some instability in relationships because often the butterfly represents a change of the heart or something that's really important to you, something that you love, and it feels very tender, very exposed. And so when this card comes up, sometimes we need to have a daily ritual. Sometimes we need to have something that helps us in a time of transition. And this can be a very small thing. This could even be like a cup of tea in the morning, just something that is a consistent thing that you are doing for yourself that becomes kind of like a ritual for you. It could also literally be like a magical ritual or something like that. But it feels like it needs to be attainable. It needs to be bite-sized. Like, I feel like there's already so much going on, Aquarius. It's like, it's not about this big grand thing that you're unveiling. It's kind of like becoming more realistic with your dreams and goals. Because I feel like you already have started to make progress in that, no? I feel like you've already started to take some really important steps that feel really good. Or maybe you're being called to do that now, and so you need to simplify. But that feels like a resounding thing right now, and kind of helping yourself transition. Anything else? Bottom of the deck, we have the dolphin, trusting your intuition, this sort of sonar or sixth sense. And finding joy in the doing, finding joy in life. Even in the little things. Like, I feel like you're not giving yourself enough time to appreciate things. So taking some time out of your day to write a gratitude list, or at least think about the things that you're grateful for. And this doesn't have to be like a huge thing. And I know with dolphin energy, sometimes you can underestimate the impact you do have on others, because I feel like you're on this like mission, almost, Aquarius, whatever it is that you're doing. But it's almost like you don't see the impact you're having on others now. Because you are a healer. Your light, your presence is the gift you give to others. And so cool to see underneath that we have the oyster. You have this light, this pearl, this treasure inside of you. You're already putting it out in the world. I feel for many of you anyways. And letting yourself receive your own gifts, your own presence, is very, very healing as well. And I think it's important for you to also connect to like-minded people with the dolphin too. Especially if there's a lot of different personalities you're working with right now who don't necessarily agree with you or see things the same way. I think it could be really supportive to find people who are on kind of a similar wavelength, because that is very much the dolphin energy as well. And those are all the messages I have for you this time, Aquarius. I do hope that this was helpful. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe if this resonated with you, especially if you've made it this far into the video. You can find all of my links in the description box. Again, you can book a personal reading or distance Reiki session with me on my website. You're also more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel, maybe for your moon or rising sign. I will see you next time, Aquarius. I'm sending you lots of beautiful blessings and good energy your way. Take care.